When the seamstress returned the Duke's money in the middle of a storm, he thought she was foolish. 3 months later, he returned to her door carrying a wedding ring instead. Rain hammered the London streets while a young seamstress knelt in the mud gathering ruined silk with shaking hands. And standing above her was a Duke. Rich, cold, impatient, Duke Nathaniel Ashcombe pulled a thick roll of banknotes from his coat and offered them without hesitation. People nearby slowed to stare, because the girl's sleeves were fraying. Her basket was nearly empty, and she clearly needed the money. But instead of taking it, Clara Whitmore pushed every note back into his hand. Earlier that morning, the Duke's speeding carriage had splashed through the flooded street and destroyed nearly a month's worth of silk, the final order keeping Clara's tiny sewing shop alive. Nathaniel immediately offered enough money to replace it twice over. Most people would have accepted instantly, but then Clara overheard his companion laughing. "You've probably rescued her entire future for the price of a dinner." Something in her expression changed after that, not anger, pride. So she calmly said, "Compensation offered kindly is generous. Compensation offered to feel powerful is something else entirely." The Duke watched her walk away through the rain in stunned silence. But later that night, he could not stop thinking about her. Not because she refused his money, but because she refused to surrender her dignity even when she needed help most. Days later, Nathaniel secretly visited her shop pretending to order garments. And what he found changed him. A leaking roof, raw, blistered hands from endless sewing. And despite barely surviving herself, Clara still gave fabric scraps to orphan girls nearby so they could mend their dresses for winter. After that, the Duke kept returning. At first for excuses, then for conversation. And slowly he realized Clara possessed something wealth could never buy. Honesty. Then came the truth she never expected. Years earlier, Nathaniel had once been engaged, but his fiancée abandoned him the moment she inherited greater wealth elsewhere. Since then, he believed money could solve almost anything, until Clara returned his without hesitation. One evening, Clara closed her shop and found the Duke waiting outside in the rain holding a small velvet box. No servants, no ballroom, just him. "The first time I offered you money," he said softly, "you thought I was trying to stand above you." Then he stepped closer beside her. "So this time, I am asking while standing beside you instead." For the first time in the story, Clara began crying quietly. Not because of the ring, but because someone finally saw her pride as something beautiful instead of inconvenient. She returned the Duke's money. And he returned with the one thing she never expected a powerful man to offer honestly.